गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथासम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि नः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः मन्दारगन्धसंयुक्तं चारुहासं चतुर्भुजं बर्हि पिच्छावचूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं रुक्मिणीकेलिसंयुक्तं पीताम्बरसुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमूतसन्निभं यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतेस्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि अस्तु so 20th shloka right
10th chapter 11th shloka
11th oh
yes
okay I thought we went even further okay no worries
10th is over 11th shloka we had to
yes correct so Bhagini would you like to read Savitri Bhagini
okay madam तेषामेवानुकम्प्यार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्तो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषाम् एव अनुकम्पार्थम् correct isn't it अनुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम् आत्मभावस्तः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषां दकारान्त अस्मत् शब्दस्य षष्ठी विभक्ति बहुवचन एव अव्ययम् अनुकम्पार्थं नपुंसकलिङ्गे प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् अहम् अस्मत् शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् अज्ञानजं नपुंसकलिङ्गम् एव खलु अज्ञानजं द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचनं कामः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं नाशयामि नश् धातु नाशयामि उत्तमपुरुष एकवचनं
निच् नाशयामि so
निच् प्रयोग
प्रत्यय
yes आत्मभावस्थः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं ज्ञानदीपेन तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचनं भास्वता नकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग शब्द तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचनं पदार्थः आत्मभावस्थः बुद्धौ वर्तमानः अहं परमात्मा तेषाम् एव तादृश बुधानाम् एव अनुकम्पार्थं दया हेतोः भास्वता प्रकाशमानेन ज्ञानदीपेन विवेकदीपेन अज्ञानजं मिथ्याज्ञानोपन्नं तमः अंधकारं नाशयामि विध्वंसयामि। अन्वयः आत्मभावस्थः अहं तेषाम् एव अनुकम्पार्थं भास्वता ज्ञानदीपेन अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि। तात्पर्यं तादृशानां बुधानाम् अनुग्रहार्थम् अहं तेषाम् अन्तःकरणे तिष्ठन् तेषु अज्ञानेन जन्यं तमः प्रकाशमानेन ज्ञानरूपेण दीपेन नाशयामि। माध्वमतं तुष्टश्च भगवान् अज्ञानिनाम् अज्ञानजन्यं दुःखरूपं संसारबन्धनं ज्ञानप्रदानेन नाशयति। तदेवं तस्य प्रसादेन मुक्तिं लभन्ते। व्याकरणम् अज्ञानेन जातम् अज्ञानजं कर्तरि ड प्रत्ययः उपपदसमासश्च आत्मनो भावः आत्मभावः षष्ठी तत्पुरुष आत्मभावे तिष्ठति इति आत्मभावस्थः कर्तरि कः उपपदसमासश्च।
So here in the previous shloka, what was told, because this is a little continuation, like Tesham. So who are these Tesham? Tesham are the ones Nitya Yuktanam Sneha Purvakam Sevamananam Tesham Budhanam Tvam Mad Vishayakam Yogam Prayachami Yena Yogena Te Budhaha Mam Prapnuvanti. So in the previous shloka, we saw that whoever are devoted
constantly
in my worship.
With love for the, I will give jnanam. I will give them jnanam. And now with that jnanam, they will obtain me, right? So why am I giving them that one, that jnanam? So here tadrishanam budhanam anugrahartham aham tesham antahkarane tishtan teshu ajnanena janyam tamaha prakashamanena jnanarupena deepena nashayami. So now these are the people who with utmost devotion they are worshipping. Yes. But they still have ajnanam in them. So how does this transformation happens? Earlier we have studied that with the jnanam, the ajnanam will be removed. Just like that. Like how once the sun rises with the very first kirana, all the darkness is removed. Yes. Like how that also happens in just a split of a second. Similarly, when this jnanam, Paramatma Tattva jnanam is obtained, all our papa karmas also will be burnt. That is what we studied in the previous shlokas. So, and how does this happen? How does this jnanam happen? Or how does this jnanam remove the ajnanam? So here he is saying, प्रकाशमानेन ज्ञानरूपेण दीपेन नाशयामि.
So aham tesham antahkarane tishtan. So he will be there in our antahkarana. Teshu ajnanena, and within them, whatever ajnanam is there, teshu ajnanena janyam tamaha. Whatever tamaha is being generated because of that ajnanam, prakashamanena jnana rupena deepena nashayami. So aham, I will be there within them, and whatever tamaha is there because of the ajnanam that they have, I will destroy it with the jnana rupa deepam.
Yeah,
I will destroy that. So that is, and why am I doing all this? Anukampartham. And what is this anukampartham?
Soft corner.
So here anukampartham, daya hetu. Okay, because of the daya, the compassion that I have. And why are you having compassion on this particular person? Because of that shraddha that they have towards realizing the Paramatma. They have this Shraddha to realize the Paramatma. They are constantly in worship with him. They are associated with him. They, with an unwavering mind, they think of only Paramatma all the time. They look at everything and see Paramatma within everything. And they are following, they are doing their duties as per the Dharma. So it is not that they are discarding their duties and worshipping him. So all these together should be done. For such a person, for such kind of a bhakta, out of compassion, I help him by being within him and destroying the tamo gunam that is being generated because of the ajnanam. Because of ajnanam only, right? We have this tamo gunam, the rajasika gunam. Why? Why is somebody having the tamo gunam? Because, or the rajasika gunam, because they think whatever they are seeing.
Not hearing.
Hmm. So, second.
There is a disturbance, madam.
Okay.
We are not.
Is it okay now? Hello.
Yes, now we are.
Now is it okay?
I am
I
hearing.
think the internet connection was a little waving.
Yes, some loose connection maybe.
That strength. No, there are no connections. It is just maybe the wavelength was a little disturbing. Huh. So that kind of Shraddha, to somebody who has that kind of Shraddha. And why we were discussing, why does the Rajogunam or the Tamogunam come into existence? Because we are not able to realize the difference between Sat and Asat. Looking at things that are Asat, we think that they are Sat, and we fight for them. We get attached to them, thinking that they are Sat, thinking that they are Nitya. And
Yes.
the minute we think they are Nitya, we get attached to them, and we get upset when somebody else wants it. We don't want to share. All the negativity comes along with that attachment and desire. And why is all this happening? Because of the ajnanam, thinking that all these are Nitya, all these are Sat. But once we understand these are not Nitya, this is Anitya, this is Maya, we only have to make use of the things, then why are these around us? So now some people might ask, if this is all Anitya, if this is all Maya, then why is it even there? This is there because we need to survive in this body. And while we are surviving in this body, we need some certain things to perform our duties, to move on, right? We need to climb a ladder. We need to go up. To go up, what do we need? We need a ladder which is actually made out of some kind of material. Without a ladder, you cannot climb up. You cannot simply think in your mind and simply go like that. Similarly, for prani to reach Paramatma, he needs some kind of sadhana. And initially, that sadhana will be based on materialistic things. And because of that, we need these. So we have to realize and remember that constantly. I need these things only to do that prayanam into the next level. That if we have in our mind, then we will not get attached, because we constantly have to think this is not my destination. This is only a state of place or time where we are existing to work on our journey. If we constantly remind ourselves of that, then it will be easy for us to not get attached, not get emotional, not do all that. We are totally focused on whatever final goal is. So we are not stopping here. So somebody who wants to run a marathon of 50K, he will do an everyday practice with small goals. First, he will have 100, like 10K. For 10K, he will work, but he knows that his goal is 100K or 50K. So this 10K is only a temporary step. Once he attains that, then he will practice for 20K. He has to do it that way only, because nobody can directly do 50K. So, and without having that middle steps, it will be difficult for him to
Reach the goal.
realize where he is, so that he can work on where he is lagging behind. So once he knows his strengths, then he can work on where he is failing. So for that, he needs to set up these middle goals. Similarly, for us also, we have so many middle goals, but we should not get carried away thinking, okay, I've already am able to do this, so I don't have to go forward. Then we will again get out of focus and we will stay here forever. We will be going back and forth here only. So, like how in this we can remember the analogy of the Sagara Mathana, right? So,
Yeah.
during Sagara Mathana, so many precious things came. So, did the Devatas stop at that precious thing? No, they did not stop because they know what the final goal is. Even the Asuras also did not stop. As much of, even though temporarily they were fascinated, they again quickly realized, no, this is not what we want. We wanted Amritam. So, they continued again, right? So, similarly, we also should always constantly remember that all what we are having right now is only temporary for us to use these as a sadhanas to move forward. We should not be carried away by small rewards that we might receive in the process. Only then we will be able to move forward. That kind of focus we should have. That is the jnanam. That kind of jnanam can be obtained by anugraham from the Paramatma himself. So that is why in this shloka it is being said that for such people I have so much of compassion because of the shraddha that they are showing that I will make it happen. Of course, again, that also we can again look at it as our own deeds, right? Because in one shloka, Paramatma said, whatever good or bad happens to you, I am only a sakshi. I
Yes.
am only watching. So now, why in this shloka he is saying, I will destroy? I will destroy the ajnanam and give the jnanam. Because even the happening of the jnanam is again our own doing. Because we have done something good in the past. We are able to obtain this opportunity to obtain jnanam, right?
Yes.
So it is our own doing, definitely. Because of our own doing, Paramatma will is
Help
making.
us to
Hmm.
obtain it.
In that way, we can look at it.
Okay.
These are the points where many people try to catch and try to, people who are trying, how do you say that, uh, to sound logical. They only try to sound logical, but whether really the logic is there or not, we have to think and help them determine. So such things they point out. Okay, why is this shloka saying like this when in that shloka it is said like that? We should not take only one shloka at a time and try to analyze. We have to try to take the saramsam, the different ways how each aspect is put. Only then we will be able to find the complete meaning.
Some solution. Yes.
Hmm. Just looking at one shloka, we cannot say this is what Paramatma said. That is what is happening in many cases, not only with Bhagavad Gita, even with other religious texts, even those people who follow those texts who are like, how do you say, fanatics, you can call them. Such fanatics, what are they doing? They are only picking bits and pieces of a certain text and taking the literal meaning of that text and then try to
Mislead.
convey the meaning in a incorrect way. But
Yes.
that is not what should be happened. We should take the complete context into picture when trying to say the meaning of any particular thing. So that also we have to keep in mind. So whenever somebody says something, we should be able to connect. Yes, in this adhyaya, in this particular shloka, this is how it is said. But then again, in that particular adhyaya, there is another shloka which is saying this. So since both are being said by the same source, we have to understand it in this way. We have to take the contextual meaning also, right? So,
Yes.
like how even we will tell, at one time you say you eat this, the same food item, at another time you might tell the child not to eat it. So if they do not understand the bhava behind that, why at certain time it should be eaten and at another time it should not be eaten, if they don't understand the connection, then they will be confused, right? Oh, my mother told me not to eat that, but then again today she told me to eat this. Why is she contradicting herself? So she doesn't know anything. Can I come to such a conclusion? No. Because there is a reason why she should have said, do not eat it on that particular day, and now to eat it on this particular day. There is something else behind it. On that particular day, maybe the Sharira constitution of that child is not in a position to be able to digest that food. So that day she said, no, you cannot eat this today. But another day when he is well and all normal again, yes, he can eat. Like this, there will be so many things, right? So such kind of logic we have to bring to people who try to contradict or use these shlokas to contradict the main purpose of the teaching. We should never deviate from the teaching. Even if we are confused also, we have to use the same logic, not only for others. Even sometimes we find ourselves confused. Why is it said like that in that shloka, and how, and here it is being said like this? So how to understand this? Am I missing something? That is what we need to ask, and we need to find a solution or an explanation where both come into sync, and the reason behind why it is said differently in both the shlokas. So that also we have to keep in mind. While learning the meanings of all these shlokas, we have to try to
analyze,
connect the meanings from one adhyaya to the other also. Because again, even Arjuna, that is the reason why that also has been projected. In one chapter we studied, right? Arjuna will start off like, see, one time you are saying Karma Marga is the best. Another time you said Jnana Marga is the best. Now I am totally confused. You just tell me one thing and I will do that. Why was that shloka kept why is that shloka even there, where Arjuna himself is confused? Arjuna is representing a normal human. Though he himself is a sadhaka and he might know the answer to it, the way it is put out here is for keeping in mind the common question or a doubt a normal person can have. So when to follow karma marga, when to follow jnana marga, there is a big confusion among many people. So to resolve that, it is not that one is better than the other. Depending on what state of mind a person is, which one is better for him at that point of time should be understood. So since Jnana Marga is definitely better than Karma Marga, but is it for everybody? Can anybody start with Jnana Marga? No. If they're not ready for Jnana Marga, and if they start the Jnana Marga, they will be thrown back again. They will be totally confused. They will destroy themselves completely. Like how a student in first grade is taught fifth grade maths. What will happen? He will develop a fear for math because he definitely cannot understand. So he will think that it is something, he will develop a fear towards it and he will never again touch that. So he is lost, and without learning maths, he cannot survive. So what will happen? His options will all come down. So like how his life can be destroyed because of that wrong step somebody can make. Similarly, here also the same thing. So like that, here also that should be there. That connection between understanding what is being told in each shloka should be there for us also. So whenever you have a doubt, as we are moving forward with each shloka, if there is a question, why is this being said? Earlier, this is how it is said. So such questions, when they come, we have to discuss that. Why that is being said. We have to find an answer for that. Looking at different commentaries by great people like Shankaracharya, we have to, if that is bothering us, then we have to definitely find an answer for such questions that we might have. Then that clarity will come in our mind. So there are so many commentaries and more elaboration. Here we are discussing very briefly, but there are many commentaries where very good elaborated analysis of each is given by you cannot follow anybody's commentary like Shankaracharya and such big saints are there who have that knowledge of understanding the intention of Paramatma and intention of what is being said in each shloka. Such commentaries, if we read, then we will understand the philosophical aspect of it completely. Now, Samskritam can only take you to some extent, but the philosophical aspect of a particular shloka and the shlokartha, for that we have to again depend on the Vyasa great saints. Because I'm also telling this why, because many people, when they say they want to learn Sanskritam, and when we ask why, the reason that they say is, oh, we don't want to study the commentary in written by others. We want to be able to understand it ourselves. So that is why we want to learn Sanskritam, which is fine, which is good. But what I'm saying is, language can take you only so far, right?
Yes.
The meanings behind the words put in a particular way.
Inner meaning of the sentence.
Especially in a philosophical text. See, if it is a sahityam, then it will be easy. There are very limited ways that a word can express. If it is a regular sahityam, story about a king or a queen or whatever. Historical texts also cannot create a lot of depth. Why? Because what has happened. That is being told. That's all. There is nothing much beyond left for our understanding or imagination. At least the Sahitya texts will have, the literary works will have more creativity and imagination. There, at least, there is a scope for a little bit of imagination, but historical texts will not have even that. But when it comes to philosophical texts, there is so much of philosophy involved here. So, with the Sanskrit knowledge, how much can we, with just by the language, all the philosophy cannot be explained.
Yes.
So, for that reason, we have to still depend on the commentary. So, many people, they are like, oh, if you're still going to read the commentary, then why even learn Sanskrit? Those are two different things. We should not connect them. The beauty of the expression definitely enhances with Sanskritam, right? The same word. Now, here, each shloka, when we are reading, there is a beauty in it. The way the words are used, and the same feeling with, we have seen how so many different words are used, right? So that kind of beauty is there in every language. Every language has its own beauty with certain words. Similarly, Sanskrit has even more. Why? Because it is the mother of all languages, and all languages have been derived from it. So obviously, it will have more. So that is what we are enjoying actually, and how the vibhakti itself can express a meaning. That, of course, so many Indian languages have, not only Sanskrit. Again, for the same reason that they are all derived from Sanskrit, they have adopted even that feature. So such things we can enjoy when we are, instead of reading the meaning of a shloka in English or in some other language, here by reading it in the original text in Sanskrit, that additional beauty we can enjoy. But when coming to the philosophical meaning of the shloka, just those words are not enough. We have to go beyond that. So for that reason, we have to read commentaries. This also I am telling why, because you will be asked by other people the same. Why are you learning Sanskrit? So if you are still depending on commentaries, then why are you still learning Sanskrit? So you need to know that, the philosophy is not easy to understand. So for that reason, we need to depend on the great saints, because this is written by Vyasa Maharshi. This is written by Vyasa Maharshi, and Vyasa Maharshi also is like a great Maharshi, and there is so much of thought put into all of this. Now, here, the Paramatma did not spell out a single word. When it happened, Paramatma did not really spell out every single word to Arjuna. All this happened in a fraction of a second. But Vyasa Maharshi was able to understand what Paramatma passed on to Arjuna. Middle of the war, it is not like they literally stood there for so long, and Krishna was explaining every small thing. It is not like that. It is depicted like that. But what actually happens is, see, they both are such great souls. Arjuna himself is such a great sadhaka. One look from Krishna can mean everything to him. He will be able to understand everything what Krishna is conveying, right?
Yes.
So, but it is written by Vyasa Maharshi for the purpose of the humankind, for the purpose of the humans. So, finally, that is why they say Vyasa Maharshi has written this. And why has he written this? For the benefit of the humans. So, is every single word spelled out like this by Paramatma? No, but it was intended, and that intention was caught by Vyasa Maharshi because he is such a great Maharshi. He can understand the intent of Paramatma, and he put it, in such an elaborate way. So that is how we need to understand. So the Maharshi himself has written. So again, to understand that, because it is not easy. Why so many commentaries will come into existence when everybody who learns Sanskrit can understand the text? Why so many commentaries will come into existence, especially by such great people like Shankaracharya and many other Maharshis? Because the philosophy behind it is not easily understood by everybody. So that is why there are so many levels of commentaries also. Like how the Panini's Ashtadhyayi itself has so many vyakhyas. First, the Mahabhashyam. It is not easy to understand Mahabhashyam. So again, Vartikas. So again, other bhashyams and other vyakhyas came into existence. Why? If everybody can understand, if they learn Sanskrit, they should be able to understand Ashtadhyayi. No, Mahabhashyam. Mahabhashyam also we cannot understand if we read it directly. We have to again learn it from a guru. And even that also is not easy. Only when we are able to understand the Siddhanta Kaumudi by itself, then you will be eligible for learning Mahabhashyam. So, like that, there are so many levels. So much of thought is put into every word and meaning is being conveyed. So, that is the reason we need to, whenever there is a doubt, we need to go to such commentaries by the great saints and clarify our doubts. Rather than, we have to be careful whose commentary we are following. That also is very important because not all people might have that capacity to understand what was intended. So we don't want to be misled. So always follow the very authentic sources. So Shankaracharya's commentary, that definitely is. And a few others are also there. Those also we can follow. But like that we have to see. And even some people have translated the Shankaracharya's commentary into other languages. Again, who the translation is made by also we have to see. They also should have a good standing in such work. Then we can follow such translations because Shankaracharya's commentary will be in Sanskritam. So if somebody is having difficulty understanding it, then we might depend on other translations of the same text, but who have translated it, what is their standing, what other works they have done, such things we have to take into notice and then follow. So that is one thing. So coming back here, so here what is being said is Paramatma himself is saying, I, out of compassion for that kind of bhakta, I am residing in him and destroying his tamas, which is related
Ajna.
to jnanam, with the jnana deepam. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the
Thank
next
you.
one, Surya Bhagini.
महोदय अर्जुन उवाच परं ब्रह्म परं धाम पवित्रं परमं भवान् पुरुषं शाश्वतं दिव्यम् आदिदेवमजं विभुम् आहुस्त्वां ऋषयः सर्वे देवर्षिर्नारदस्तथा असितो देवलो व्यासः स्वयं चैव ब्रवीमि मे परं परम अव्ययम कदम
Here, one minute. Ikada param is used as an adjective to Brahma. So we can take it as Napumsakam Prathama Ekavachana. Param Brahma, Param Dhama. So here param is taken as an adjective to Brahma. So we can take it as Brahma is Napumsaka. So here we can take this also as Napumsaka.
అప్పుడు నపుంసకం అయినప్పుడు బ్రహ్మన్నం రాదేమో కదా.
ఏం రాదు?
బ్రహ్మన్నం రాదేమో కదా.
బ్రహ్మన్నే.
బ్రహ్మన్నే వస్తుందా పుంలింగమైన నపుంసకలింగమైన?
బ్రహ్మ కూడా ఉంది నపుంసక శబ్దంలో. బ్రహ్మ ఇస్ దేర్ అండ్ బ్రహ్మన్ ఇస్ దేర్, బోత్ ఆర్ దేర్.
ఓహో. ఇంత బ్రహ్మన్ పుల్లింగం, ప్రథమ
నపుంసకం.
ఏకవచనం. నపుంసకం అనేది నపుంసకం ఏకవచనం.
So param is also here. Avyayam is there and sarvanama shabda para sarvanama shabda is also there. So here we have to take the sarvanama shabda. And napumsakalinga prathama vibhakti ekavachana.
ఏకవచనం. మళ్ళీ రెండోది కూడా అంతే అవుతుంది. పరం
same.
నపుంసకలింగం.
Sarvanama napumsaka prathama ekavachana. Dhama also dhaman. Nakaranta napumsaka.
ధామన్ అవుతుందా ఇది?
ధామన్ నకారాంత. నపుంసకలింగ ప్రథమ ఏకవచనం.
ఏకవచనం. పవిత్రం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి కదా ఇది. ద్వితీయ
పవిత్రం ఆల్సో నపుంసకం ప్రథమ విభక్తి.
ప్రథమ. పరమం కూడా
పుంలింగ అండ్ నపుంసక. Here we take it as napumsaka. Why? Because we want it to be in prathama vibhakti.
ప్రథమ ఏకవచనం. పరమం కూడా అంతే.
Paramam also again avyayam is there and pumlinga is there and napumsaka is there. We want napumsaka because it should be in prathama vibhakti.
ఇవన్నీ నపుంసకలింగాల్లోకి వస్తాయి.
All are napumsaka prathama vibhakti ekavachanam.
భవాన్.
This is shabda pumlinga prathama vibhakti ekavachanam.
ఏకవచనం. పురుషం. పురుషం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. శాశ్వతం. శాశ్వతం
ఆల్సో
శబ్దం కదా ఇది. శాశ్వత శబ్దం కదా ఇది.
శాశ్వత్. శాశ్వత.
శాశ్వతం. ఇది కూడా ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. దివ్యమాదిదేవం అజం.
దివ్యం again that is a separate word. పుంలింగ ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
ఆదిదేవం ఇది కూడా అంతే.
పుంలింగ ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
ఏకవచనం. అజం.
These are all again in napumsaka also. The shashvata, divya and adideva. But we are taking them as pumlinga dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana. Why? Because these are all visheshanas to purusham. And purusham is pumlinga shabda. So we are taking these also as pumlinga dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana.
విభుం. ఇది కూడా విభు. ఇది ప్రథమ విభక్తి అయితే ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం విభుం.
Yes.
ఆహుహు. ఆహుహు లట్లకారం.
ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచన.
బహువచన.
బ్రూధాతు.
బ్రూధాతువు. ఆహువు తు అవ్యయం.
త్వాం.
తు అవ్యయం. తు ఏవ. ఏవ అవ్యయం. ఋషయః. ఋషయః ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం.
అది తూ కాదే. త్వాం ఇస్ దేర్, నో? నాట్ తూ. త్వాం.
త్వాం. తూ కాదు. త్వాం
యుష్మద్. యుష్మద్ శబ్ద సర్వనామ శబ్ద ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
ఏకవచనం. ఋషయః బహువచనం ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం. సర్వే. సర్వే. సర్వే
అగైన్ పుంలింగ ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం. సర్వనామ శబ్ద.
సర్వనామ శబ్దం. దేవర్షి. దేవర్షి ప్రథమ విభక్తి
ఏకవచన.
ఏకవచనం. నారదః కూడా ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. తథా అవ్యయం. అసితః ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం అకారాంత శబ్దం. దేవలః ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం అకారాంత శబ్దం. వ్యాసః ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం అకారాంత శబ్దం. అకారాంత శబ్దమే కదా వ్యాసః కూడా. స్వయం. స్వయం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి
అవ్యయం. అవ్యయం యు కెన్ టేక్.
అవ్యయం. స్వయం అవ్యయం. చ ఏవ రెండు అవ్యయం. బ్రవీషి బ్రవీషి భ్రూధాతువు
మధ్యమ పురుష
లట్లకారం ద్వితీయ కదా.
లట్లకార మధ్యమ పురుష
ఏకవచనం. మే అధశబ్దం షష్ఠి విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. పదార్థ భవాన్
చతుర్థి విభక్తి ఖలు అత్ర చతుర్థి విభక్తి ఖలు.
Here we have to see how it is used. Actually, may is used in the sense of mom here. We'll go there. We'll go to, when we are doing the analysis, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
Bhavan, Tvam, Param, Uttamam, Brahma, Param, Utkrishtam, Dhama, Sthanam, Paramam, Shreshtam, Pavitram, Pavanam, Iti Devarshihi Naradaha, Surashihi Naradaha, Asitaha, Asitanamakaha Rushihi, देवलनामकः ऋषिः, व्यासः बादरायणः, सर्वे ऋषयः, सकलाः ऋषयः, त्वां शाश्वतं सनातनं दिव्यं दिवि भवं पुरुषोत्तमम् आदिदेवं मूलदैवं अजं జన్మరహితం. అంటే పుట్టుక లేనివాడు అని చెప్పేసి వచ్చినట్టుంది ఇక్కడ అజం అంటే.
అవును, కరెక్ట్.
విభుం వ్యాపకం ఆహుః వదంతి తథా తేన ప్రకారేణ స్వయం చ ఏవ త్వమపి మే మహ్యం బ్రవీషి వదసి. అన్వయః భవాన్ పరం బ్రహ్మ పరం ధామ పరమం పవిత్రం దేవర్షిః నారదః అసితః దేవలः వ్యాసः ఇతి సర్వే ఋషయः త్వాం శాశ్వతం దివ్యం పురుషం ఆదిదేవం అజం విభుం ఆహుః తథా స్వయం చ ఏవ మే బ్రవీషి. తాత్పర్యం: భవాన్ ఉత్తమం బ్రహ్మ ఉత్కృష్టం స్థానం పరమం పవిత్రం చ అస్తి. దేవర్షిః నారదः అసితः దేవలः బాదరాయణः ఇత్యాదయः సర్వేపి ఋషయः త్వం సనాతనः దివ్యశ్చ పురుషः త్వం ఆదిదేవः త్వం జన్మరహితः విభుః ఇతి వదంతి. యదేతత్ త్వం అపి మాం వదసి. రామానుజీమతం ఋషయः పరావరతత్వయాథాత్మ్య విదః. వ్యాకరణం: ఆదిః దేవః ఆదిదేవః కర్మధారయః.
So here what are the kriyapadani?
క్రియాపదాలు 3 ఉన్నాయి. 3 లేవు. సంతి ఒకటి ఉన్నట్టుంది. పవిత్రం అస్తి అనేది ఫస్ట్ లో వస్తుందేమో. ఇది ఆహుః ఒకటి క్రియాపదం, బ్రవీషి ఒకటి, 2 క్రియాపదాలు.
So here first if we take ahuhu, so what is the anvaya? Rishayaha, okay, tvam ahuhu. Tvam kam ahuhu or kam ahuhu. Ninnu emani annaru rishayaha. What did the rishayaha say that you are? Paramam purusham, shashvatam purusham, divyam purusham, ajam, adidevam, vibhum. These are all the words that they described you. So tvam divyam purusham, tvam shashvatam purusham. They said that you are divyam purusham. They said that you are shashvatam purusham. You are ajam. You are vibhum. You are adidevam. Okay, like this. This is how they described. And who are all the people who described? Sarve rishayaha, devarshihi, naradaha, vyasaha, devalaha. These are all the people who said that you are all these things. Okay. So here the kartrupadani are rishayaha, naradaha, vyasaha, devalaha. All these 4 are kartrupadani. So one will be connected as karta and the other you have to connect it to that as the samuchita. It is like Ramaha, Lakshmanaha, Sita cha vanam gacchanti, like that. There are 3 kartrupadani there. Similarly, here also we have 4 kartrupadani. Devarshihi is Visheshana to Naradaha. Sarve Rishayaha. Sarve is Visheshana to Rishayaha. All the rishis. All the rishis and Devarshi Naradaha, Vyasaha, Devalaha. All these people said that you are Tvam, Paramam Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam Purusham, Ajam, Vibhum, Ahuhu. So they described you as like that. That is the first part of the sentence. In the second part of the sentence, Bhavan, Paramam Brahma, Param Dhama, Paramam Pavitram Asti. So here Asti is there in the shloka. Is it there? Asti is there in the shloka. Paramam Brahma, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam, Vibhum, Tatha. It is not there. Vam, Asitaha. Yeah. So we can take Asti as Adhyahritam here. Okay, so Bhavan is the Kartrupadam. All 3 will be Videya Visheshanas. What are the other 3? Paramam Pavitram, Param Dhama, Param Brahma. Here the Param will be the Visheshana and Brahma, Dhama, Pavitram are the actual words and these will be Videya Visheshanas. You are Paramam Pavitram. You are Param Dhama. You are Param Brahma. Okay. Anantaram. Anantaram, what is the next Kriyapadam? Tvam Bravishi. Tvam Bravishi. You said. Swayameva Bravishi. Me. Okay. So you told this. You yourself told this. What did you tell?
వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు నువ్వు చెప్పావు అని చెప్తున్నారు.
వాళ్ళు అలా అనుకుంటున్నారు. వాళ్ళు నిన్ను అలా చేశారని నువ్వే చెప్పావు నా. Okay. So you told me all this. ఎందుకంటే all this information is coming to him only from Paramatma. So you told me all this. So here may. Now may, what are all the pada vishleshanas of may? Asmad shabdasya shashti vibhakti ekavachanam asti, chaturthi vibhakti ekavachanam. Both are there. For may, we can give the analysis as Asmad shabdasya shashti ekavachanam or chaturthi ekavachanam. Now what to take
నా
here?
కోసం చెప్పేవని కూడా అనుకోవచ్చు.
So we can mark it as chaturthi vibhakti and we can say it is sampradhanam. Only when we mark it as a sampradhanam, that meaning comes. But with the sampradhanam, usually there should be danakriya. Danakriya, it means the word that the kriyapadam should have that kind of meaning. That is one purpose. But again, not always it is necessary. Not always it is necessary. But there is another option. Here, especially Bravishi, the Bru Dhatu, is a Dvikarmaka Dhatu. It is a Dvikarmaka Dhatu. So whenever the Dhatu is Dvikarmaka, then we give preference to that. We try to use it as a Dvikarmaka Dhatu. So Dvikarmaka Dhatu means like mother told a story to her son. Mata Putaram Katham Vadati. Putram Katham Vadati. So here, if I say Mata Putram Vadati. Okay. So here Putram is Karmapadam. Right? She told her son. Like Guruhu Chatram Vadati. Or Pruchati also you can take. Chatram Pruchati. Student, he asked the student. Guruhu Chatram Prashnam Pruchati. Guruhu Prashnam Pruchati. Here Prashnam is also Karmapadam. He asked. What did he ask? A question. So here Prashna is also Karmapadam. Chatraha is also Karmapadam. So Prich dhatu is also dvikarmaka.
Mm.
So both are applicable. You can use both. Guruhu chatram prashnam pruchati. One will be gauna karma, one will be mukhya karma. So whenever a dvikarmaka dhatu is used, we try to bring out that aspect of that dhatu. So since it is dvikarmaka, we try to represent it as a karma padam. So here mam, the may is used as mam. We have to show it like that. When sampradhanam would have been fine. For me, he told. Okay.
కానీ చెప్పడము ఇలాంటి వాటిల్లో సంప్రదానం వస్తుందా అది?
అదే అంటున్నా. That is why we don't want to use a sampradana. We don't want to project it as a sampradana. Another way of projecting it is as prayojana. Whenever chaturthi is used, it is either sampradana or prayojana or a few other things. So prayojanam, if we take it as prayojanam, it is not really a prayojanam. Right? So you told me this for my benefit. For my benefit. That is the purpose. That will become the purpose there. But what is more reflecting here? You told me all this. You yourself told me. So it is not trying to tell about the purpose. It is not trying to... the Shashti Vibhakti meaning also is not being reflected here. And Bru Dhatu is a Dvikarmaka Dhatu. So the best way that we can represent the may here is as mam. So may, though may is used, the meaning of may here is mam. Okay, naku. You are telling me. Okay. So mam, tvam mam bravishi. And here there is no other karma also. Bru Dhatu is actually a Dvikarmaka. But if we do not represent may as mam, there is not even one karma padam. So we can as well take it as a karma padam. That will be better. So that will be a good grammatical representation. For the grammatical representation also, it will sound good. Now in the case of when there are two karma padams, like Guruhu Chatram Katham Vadati or Prashnam Pruchati. So here, in such cases, we have to see what is the mukhya karma and what is the gauna karma. If here there is
అన్నది ముఖ్య కర్మ అవుతుంది.
ఏది
క్షేత్రం అన్నది ముఖ్య కర్మ అవుతుంది డైరెక్ట్ కాబట్టి.
Okay. So others, any other answers in the sentence? Guruhu Chatram Prashnam Pruchati. Which
అనేది గౌణ కర్మ
and which is gauna karma? Now Surya Bhagini says Chatra is the mukhya karma and Prashna is the gauna karma. Any other opinions?
క్షేత్రం అన్నది మెయిన్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి అది ముఖ్య కర్మ అవుతుంది.
Why Chatra is main?
అంటే డైరెక్ట్ ఛాత్రకి చెప్పారు. డైరెక్ట్ ఇది ఏం చెప్పారంటే
you wanted to say something?
Prashnam pruchati.
I think prashnam means karmah ani karmam chatram gaun.
So Savitri Bhagini, you also think
Prashnam is pradhanam.
So Sita Bhagini, so here Prashnam will be the mukhya karma and Chatram will be gauna karma. Why? Because that also, let me tell you, Prich Dhatu. You go to the Kriya Padam. When you're asking something, what is it, the phalam that you are expecting out of that vyapara?
Prashna.
Right? That Kriya, Prich, Dhatoho, Dhatvartham kim? So Dhatvartham means vyapara and phalam. The vyapara is the action of doing, means asking. So when you're asking, where is that phalam? In the prashna, not in the chatra. The prashna is being asked. So the phalam of that kriya padam is in prashna. So the prashna will become the mukhya karma. And now Chhatra, another way of remembering, if you are in doubt, if you are not sure what is the phalam of the dhatu, where the phala is there, in which word of the sentence, another way of identifying is Gauna karma can be put in other vibhaktis also without disturbing the meaning of the sentence. Whereas Mukhya karma cannot be put in any other vibhakti other than Dvitiya vibhakti. It is not possible. It will spoil the meaning of the sentence. Now here, Guruhu Chhatraya Prashnam Pruchati. You can say that. Chhatraya Prashnam Pruchati. Chhatraya Katham Vadati. Okay? So Chhatra can be put in Chaturthi also. But Prashna cannot be put in any other vibhakti other than Dvitiya vibhakti. So that is another way of identifying the Mukhya karma. That word which cannot be put in any other vibhakti other than the Dvitiya vibhakti will become Mukhya karma. A word which can sometimes take other vibhaktis without affecting the meaning of the sentence, that will become the Gauna karma. That is one way of identifying. And the main way in grammar, correctly, if you want to identify, the main way is looking at the Dhatvartha. Dhatvartha has two aspects. One is the Vyapara and the second one is the Phalam. Vyapara is the action, what is necessary in getting that Kriya done. And the Phalam is where that result of that action, where it will be. That will become the Karma Padam. That will become the Mukhya Karma. So here Pruchati is on the Prashna.
అంటే ప్రశ్న అడిగిన దానికి ఎఫెక్ట్ రెండో దాని మీద పడుతుంది.
మళ్ళా చెప్పండి.
ప్రశ్న అడిగిన దాని ఎఫెక్ట్ రెండో దాని మీద పడుతుంది, రెండో కర్మ మీద.
రెండో కర్మ అనకూడదు, అదే ముఖ్య కర్మ. On whichever word the phala of that kriya is, that will be the karma padam. Okay? That will be the mukhya karma. When two karmas are there only, you will have this doubt. When I simply say Guruhu Chhatram Pruchati, then you don't mark Chhatra as Gauna karma. You mark it as simply karma. Only when two karma padams are there, you have to differentiate the mukhya karma and the Gauna karma. Okay? So here also, here we don't have any other karma. We have only one karma padam. That too it is given in Chaturthi, May. You can take it as either Shashti or Chaturthi. But between the two, if you have to choose, then maybe Chaturthi might be applicable. But Bravishi, even Chaturthi also we need not take. It is not very, very appropriate marking it as Chaturthi. Why? Because if it is Chaturthi, it either has to be Sampradana or it is either has to be Prayojana. Is it Sampradana? No, there is no Danakriya happening. You cannot say it is Sampradana. Is it Prayojanam? There is no Prayojanam here. Okay, for me. In English, when you say, you told for me, you told me.
అక్కడ ప్రయోజనం ఉన్నప్పుడు ద్వితీయ కానీ షష్ఠి కానీ అవుతుంది.
ప్రయోజనం ఉన్నప్పుడు it will be Chaturthi only. Why?
చతుర్థి. మరి ఇప్పుడు సంప్రదానం అయితే దానక్రియ అయింది కదా అది.
It is not Danakriya. There is no Danakriya happening.
కాదు కదా.
So we cannot mark it as, we cannot take it as Chaturthi. So we have to mark it as Mam. Then your question will be, then why is it even, why did the Maharshi put it as May? Why he could have simply written it as Mam? Why did he not do that? When it is not appropriate as Chaturthi and as Shashti, why to even write May? Why not Mam? We need to go back as far as Vyasa Maharshi, and which was before Panini. So we don't know. One thing. But I would like to look at it as in this way. This is just my perspective. I want to make that clear because my perspective might be wrong, but it helps me. So how do I look at it is, all these are written in Chandas. And whenever something is written in Chandas, poetry, any poetry uses a meter. Meter means Chandas. And they have a particular count of letters. every sentence, every line should have a particular number of aksharas. You cannot go one akshara more or less. Otherwise, the chandas will be disturbed. So sometimes the Maharshis because if the chandas is disturbed, the pattern is gone. The synchronization will be gone. Why is the chandas so important? Because back in those days, there was no writing. Of course, Talapatra Granthas are there, but in the Guru Sishya Parampara, they didn't have something to write on an everyday basis. How was it passed on from one generation into the next generation? Only through recitation. And pass it on. So when that recitation is happening, having a chandas will be very, very important because it will maintain the same synchrony. Every line will have the same number of aksharas. So it will become easy for the people who are reciting. Because when it is being passed on, say for example, somebody learnt it wrong or they forgot one akshara somewhere. So when it is passed on over generations, they will find that one akshara is somehow not tallying. Then they will depend on such factors, on the alankaras, mukhyanga shabdalankaras, and the chandas to fill in those blanks. When any mistakes have happened in the passing on of this the kavyas, the literature through the generations, because recitation is the only way it was passed back then. If there are any mistakes, these are the things that they used to find the mistake and fill with, make an educated guess to fill it. So they know now because it is in this particular chanda, only these many aksharas are there. So here only, in this line, only one akshara is missing. And what could it be? They have this, what do we call that? For chandas, we have the formula, right? The guru lagu, that pattern is there. So depending on the chandas, they know whether the akshara there is guru or lagu. If it is guru, then accordingly they will put the takshara and accordingly to the matching of the meaning. So they will keep in mind the meaning and the guru and lagu akshara and even the, how do you say, what is that alankara? If alankara, shabda alankara applies there. So taking all these factors, if there are any mistakes or anything missing, they will do these corrections. So that is the reason why it is important for the rishis or the kavis to follow the chandas and the alankaras. Why do they keep it in a particular alankara, in especially the shabdalankara? Because it again makes it easy for people to do the recitation because there is a sound pattern there. It will become easy for people. When I give you some random words, is that easy for you to understand or a line composed in a song? A line, when it is composed in a song, it becomes easy for you to remember. Rather than some random words. Similarly, so that is the reason why they use such differences we see. But they make it so close that easily any person who has learnt a little bit of grammar is able to understand why that is done. So here, though May is given, which is only Shashti or Chaturthi Vibhakti, it is reflecting the meaning of Dvitiya Vibhakti. But why Dvitiya Vibhakti Mam is not used? Mam has two aksharas, whereas May has only one akshara. So maybe there was that difference of aksharas that here the rishi. This is how I like to look at it. Okay, there is some truth to it, but I don't know if every case depends only on that factor. There might be other factors also, but definitely this also can be one of the factors. So because we need an explanation why such things are done. So for that reason, I would like to use this as a reason because it makes it easy for us to understand why such differences come. Okay. So we can simply mark it in the brackets as mom. it is not incorrect, it is not printing mistake, it is not anything else. That is how it is. And whenever it is not aligning with Panini's Ashtadhyayi rules, we can also mark it as Arsha Prayoga. Okay, it does not fit into Panini's sutras anywhere. We think here, how is it may? It cannot be Sampradana, it cannot be Prayojana. Why is it put? So it is not fitting into Panini's Vyakarana. So it is wrong. You cannot say that. Why? Because Panini's Vyakarana Ashtadhyayi came after Vyasa Maharshi. Vyasa Maharshi has written this before. What did Panini do? He studied the complete literature, found a pattern, most commonly used patterns, and he framed these sutras. Here and there are certain applications which are unable to fit into his formulas because he based his formulas on the more frequent usage. So here and there are a few cases which he came across. He saw those, but he did not include them in any of the rules. Why? Because they don't fit in any of the rules. The rules that he has written. So that is why we call them as Arsha Prayoga, because we are all following Panini's Ashtadhyayi. We are calling them as Arsha Prayogas. That is also not wrong. This is also not wrong. But both are coexisting. That's all. Like it is an ingredient, like we can understand it like this. There are some ingredients that we use in cooking. Our great grandmothers used, but we are not using it anymore. Now, today I have written a recipe book. Okay, but there is one thing that my grandmother made, but which what I make right now cannot taste like hers. Why? Because she has a special ingredient which I don't have in my recipe. My recipe is not incorrect, and her item that she used is also existent. But mine does not comply with her because that is no longer available. I wrote this recipe without including that. I am not including that because it is no longer available, say for example. So I have to make my recipe without that. But it does not make my recipe incorrect, and it does not make her item also non-existent. It was there once upon a time, but it is not there anymore. It is not. So there is no availability. So I cannot include it now. Like that, something like that. For us to understand, for in layman terms, to understand, I just quoted that example. So similarly here also, when you are studying kavyas, you might come across such applications. So you should be able to recognize. You cannot blindly say here may is there, so it is sampradana or prayojana. It has to be either this or that. We need not think like that. There is another possibility such as this. That is what that is the reason why I brought this up. And especially in Bhagavad Gita, we have many such usages, especially with may. May is used in so many senses. In one place, I even came across where it is used as apadana. So that is very rare. Maybe out of all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, maybe one place it is used. But it is there. So such things also are pointers which we have to identify, and we can write a research paper on that also. You know, that is how the work goes in the research area of any language. So that odd applications where very rarely that you come across, but there is a purpose to it. You cannot simply dismiss it. Okay, there is a reason behind it. Now I just came up with a reason which I am comfortable with. But if you look into more and more and more texts, and even the texts written by the grammarians who also again comment on such usages, you might find all the reasons why Vyasa Maharshi did this. There might be more reasons also. So I only quoted one which is easy for me to understand and relate to. Okay. So that is the language aspect of knowing the Vyakarana.
అవును, ఇప్పుడు మార్కండేయ అన్నది అకారాంత శబ్దం అవుతుందా ఉకారాంత శబ్దం అవుతుందా?
ఉకారాంత ఉకారాంత అని అడుగుతున్నారా?
అవును, అంటే మార్కండేయ అంటాము, మార్కండేయు అంటాము అని. అంటే తెలుగులో మార్కండేయుడు అంటాం కదా.
మార్కండేయ ఓన్లీ. ఇప్పుడు రాముడు విసే రాముడు, బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ రాము, రైట్? ఇట్ ఇస్ రామః. Like that, Markandeyaha, I think, is an Akaranta Shabda only. In Telugu, we put do to everything. And especially for the Prathama Vibhakti. And whenever we put do, we precede it with Ukara. Like Shivudu, Lakshmanudu. See, that U comes with every Akaranta Shabda. So, because we are saying Markandeyudu, you need not think it is an Ukaranta. It is Akaranta only. Markandeyaha.
ఇప్పుడు అలాగే అయి అన్నది వచ్చిందంటే శబ్దంలో, అంటే ఇప్పుడు ప్రకాశవంతుడయి, తేజస్వంతుడయి ఇలాంటి వర్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా.
తేజస్వంతుడయినా,
తేజస్వంతుడయి ఉన్నాడు, లేకపోతే ప్రకాశవంతుడయి ఉన్నాడు.
అడ్జెక్టివ్. సో ద తేజస్వంతుడై ఉన్నాడు is tejas is the adjective of that person, whomever you are talking about.
అయ్యి అంటే అక్కడ ఎలా వాడతామని, అంటే సంస్కృతంలో వాడాలంటే
so that will become visheshana. See, say for example,
సహ తేజస్వంతః, అయ్యి అంటే
సహ తేజస్వంతః మార్కండేయః అస్తి.
అస్తి అంటే అక్కడ అయ్యి అన్నదానికి ఇంకా అర్థం లేదు. అస్తి అంటే
in Telugu, that visheshana, a word which acts as a visheshana will get that suffix.
అంటే అలా వాడేస్తే సరిపోతుందండి.
Yeah, because in Sanskrit that visheshana does not have an additional suffix. But in
తెలుగులో అయితే ఎలా రాస్తాము? ఇప్పుడు మార్కండేయుడు తేజస్వంతుడు ప్రకాశవంతుడు అయి ఉన్నాడు అని చెప్పేసి అని రాస్తాం మామూలుగా తెలుగులో అయితే.
అవును.
దాన్ని యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ సాంస్క్రిట్ లో తీసుకోవాలంటే తేజస్వంతః ప్రకాశవంతః మార్కండేయః అస్తి అలా రాస్తే సరిపోతుంది, అంతే కదా. అదే ఇలాంటి శబ్దాలు వచ్చినప్పుడు భూయ అంటే అయ్యి అని వస్తుంది. అలా అస్తమాట వాడమేమో కదా.
సే దట్ అగైన్.
భూయ అని కూడా అంటే అయ్యాడు అన్నట్టు వస్తుంది కదా భూయ అంటే.
భూయః మీన్స్ అగైన్.
అగైన్ వస్తుంది అది భూయః అంటే.
భూయః యాజ్ ఇన్ ద అవ్యయ భూయః. భూయః భూయః అంటాం కదా, దట్ ఈస్ అవ్యయ, which means again.
Again వస్తుంది.
So you are asking about just bhuya.
భూయ భూయ అంటే ప్రవిశ్యలాగా భూయ అన్నది కూడా వాడతామేమో కదా.
విచ్ వన్?
ప్రవిశ్య అని వాడతాం కదా, అలాగే భూయ అని కూడా వాడతామేమో కదా.
ఓహో, దట్ భూయ. ప్రవిశ్య ఇస్ లైక్
లేవంతమైంది.
భూయ అభూయ భూయ. నార్మల్లీ భూయః ఇస్ అవ్యయం. జస్ట్ భూయ
పరకాయ ప్రవేశం చేశాడు అనుకోండి, రావణాసురః రామః భూయ అంటాం అనుకోండి. రావణాసురుడు రాముడు అయ్యాడు అన్నట్టు చెప్పాలంటే అలా మార్పు చెంది అన్నట్టుగా.
Let me see. I'm trying to look at the bhu dhatu, all the forms. Bhuya, just bhuya is not there. Just bhuya is not there. Bhuyaha is there in Madhyama Purusha Ekavachana. Abhut is there in the past tense. Bhavet is there in Vidhilin. Abhavat is there. Bhava is there. You become Bhava. That is there. Bhavatu is there. But kevalam bhuya is not there.
ఓహో అంటే అలా వాడకూడదు దాన్ని.
Bhuya means totally different. Like just bhuya shabdam is there. Just bhuya is there. Akaranta pumlinga.
అంటే భూయ అనే
Sorry. Akaranta, actually this is, wait, bhuya. Napumsaka is there. Miradi abhavat anali. Ravanaha Ramaha abhavat.
అభవత్.
He became.
అంటే భూయ అన్నది వాడకూడదు.
Bhuya shabdam is there, but it is napumsakalinga shabdam. Meaning is again the same. Ante happened laga. It is like happened. It is more like a noun rather than a kriyapadam. So let me ask you this. First shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetaha.
Mamakaha Pandavaha.
So there, how do you say the same sentence in Telugu? Tell me that first part. You don't, not the complete shloka. Just dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetaha.
ధర్మక్షేత్రమైనటువంటి కురుక్షేత్రంలో నా వాళ్ళు పాండవులు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు అని
ధర్మక్షేత్రమైనటువంటి అయినా
ధర్మక్షేత్రమైన కురుక్షేత్రములో అనాలి.
No, sorry, second part you keep it aside. I'm talking about dharmakshetra, which is the visheshana to kurukshetra. So in Telugu, when you are saying dharmakshetramaina kurukshetram aina, that will be there in Telugu only. I don't know about other Indian languages, but in Telugu the visheshanas will have that suffix of aina. But in Sanskrit it is not there.
అర్థమైంది. అది ప్రాక్టికల్ గా చూస్తే తప్పించి తొందరగా అర్థం కాదు. అది అయినా అంటే ఇప్పుడు తెలుగులో వస్తే అలాంటి మాట దాన్ని ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయాలంటే అయినాకి ఇక్కడ ఏం పెట్టాలో అనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట.
Yeah, it is visheshana. So we in Sanskrit, how we handle visheshanas, like that we have to handle. So that is very important when you are doing translation from one language to another. You need to understand the grammatical relevance of that word in that particular language. Ante what you have to do, you are thinking how it should be in Telugu. This prakashavantamaina Markandeyudu. So here prakashavanta is an adjective to Markandeya. So in Sanskrit, how am I writing the adjectives? Kevalam we write the word as is.
అంటే విశేషాన్ని బట్టి విశేషణం ఏ లింగంలో అంటే అదే లింగంలో రాస్తాం.
So that kind of rules we have to follow during the translation. So here in Telugu, the Visheshana is handled this way. In Sanskrit, Visheshana is handled in that way. So when you are doing such kind of translations from one language to the other, you have to keep in mind the rules of that language into which you are translating. So when you are translating from Sanskrit to Telugu, just now you yourself said, Dharmakshetramaina Kurukshetramlo. See, automatically you said Dharmakshetramaina. How did you bring that aina? It is not there in Sanskrit. How did you bring that word?
ఏమనలేదు, ధర్మక్షేత్రే అన్నారు.
Dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetaha. And that is why I asked you, how will you say that in Telugu?
అవును, అర్థమైంది.
You added that aina. What prompted you to add that aina? Are you aware that this is a visheshana? In Telugu, the visheshanas will be suffixed with aina.
లేదు, ఇందులో అలా పెట్టలేదు. సంస్కృత్ లో అలా పెట్టలేదు.
All that translation like that, because you are well versed in Telugu, it happened automatically. But when you are going back into Samskritam, you are thinking. Why? Because Sanskrit we are still learning. So language is best learned automatically rather than through analysis. Though we are doing it through analysis, but it is that is why the speaking skills of ours are not improving. Why? Because they will improve only when we are in that environment of where everybody is speaking Sanskrit. Then it will happen automatically. But learning like, sitting and trying to learn through books, the speaking skills will not increase. Our knowledge will definitely enhance. But when it comes to colloquial language, we have to be in that environment. We have to create that environment for ourselves. Only then we'll be able to speak. So that is why babies speak. They are not taught any Vyakarana, but they speak perfectly present tense, past. See, this, they even apply the tenses, the linga, the vachana, everything. It is amazing when I watch that, how the brain works. They don't even know, nobody is taught, nobody teaches a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old the tenses and the lingas and all, but they perfectly speak all that.
That's quite amazing. I am also wondering.
It is very, very amazing how the human brain works. So I have a lot of fascination for this human, for any creation, not only human. Every creation is like that only, any animal or plant or anything. But whenever I see that, it really amazes me how
the language, automatically we speak.
And now we are trying to teach the computer to think like a human brain. How is it possible, right?
Yes.
So, because all the exceptional cases also brain is able to grasp. But for computer, especially when we are working in that particular aspect, teaching it everything, whenever Tritiya Vibhakti is there, you have to first see if it is Karanakarakam, if it is Hetu, if it is Kartrupadam in a Karmani Prayoga. These are simple. These are the simpler ones. But such things like may here. Now the computer cannot catch it. It will simply mark it as Sampradana or Prayojana. Sampradana, maybe I can avoid because I can put a condition saying the dhatu is not representing dana kriya. I can write a program to check that. But I cannot write a program to think what the rishi is thinking, and here it is meant as karma padam, so you mark it as karma. Human intervention is needed there, like that. So no matter how much ever the man tries to recreate his own brain, he cannot do it. That is the beauty of God's creation. So really, this creation really fascinates me. Anyways, so okay. What is the time?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so we still have time. Okay. So next shloka, Toshali Bagini.
सर्वमेतद्धृतं मन्ये यन्मां वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिं विदुर्देवा न दानवाः सर्वम् एतत् ऋतं मन्ये यन्मां वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिं विदुः देवाः न दानवाः सर्वं सर्वनामस्य द्वितीय एकवचन नपुंसकलिंगी द्वितीय एकवचन ऋतम अन्वयम या और द्वितीय एकवचन
द्वितीय एकवचनम एतत् नपुंसकलिंग
नपुंसकलिंगी द्वितीय एकवचन मन्ये लट् लकारः उत्तम पुरुष एकवचन राइट यत् माम यत् सर्वनामस्य नपुंसकलिंगी प्रथम एकवचन माम अस्मत् सर्वनाम शब्दस्य द्वितीय एकवचन वदसि मध्यम पुरुष प्रथम एकवचन शव संबोधन न अव्यय ही अव्यय ते तत्सर्वनामस्य प्रथमा बहुवचन भगवन् संबोधनम प्रथम एकवचन व्यक्ति व्यक्ति स्त्रीलिंगी द्वितीय एकवचन विदुः विदुः with shabdas, with dhatu, prathama bahuvachan, deva,
Lakara prathama bahuvachanam.
devaha prathama bahuvachan, na avyay, danavaha also prathama bahuvachan. पदार्थः केशव हे कृष्ण माम यत् वदसि माम यत् कथयसि एतत् इदं सर्वं सकलं ऋतं सत्यं मन्ये भावयामि भगवन् हे देव देवाः सुराः ते तव व्यक्ति प्रभावं न हि विदुः न हि जानन्ति न दानवाः असुराः अपि न जानन्ति अन्वयः केशव मां यत् वदसि एतत् सर्वं ऋतं मन्ये भगवन् देवाः ते व्यक्तिं न विदुः न हि दानवाः तात्पर्यं कृष्ण माम् उद्दिश्य यद् विषयं कथयसि इदं सर्वं सत्यं मन्ये हे भगवन् सुराः तव प्रभावं न जानन्ति असुराः अपि न जानन्ति माध्वमतं कृष्ण यदुक्तं भवता तत् सत्यमिति मन्ये तव सामर्थ्यं देवाः दानवाः च न विदुः.
So here Kriya Padam.
मन्ये.
Manye is there. Ekam. Dvitiyam.
वदसि.
Vadasi. Trutiyam.
विदुः.
Viduhu. So Prathamam Vadasi. Kartrupadam kim?
केशव.
Tvam. Vadasi. It is in Madhyama Purusha, so Tvam only will be the only Kartrupadam.
Yeah.
It is not given, so we can take Adhyahritam. Tvam Vadasi. Tvam kim Vadasi or kam Vadasi? Mam Vadasi. Kim Vadasi? Yat Vadasi. Okay, Tvam Yat Mam Vadasi. Again, Vadasi. Vad dhatu also is Dvikarmaka. Okay, so Mam Yat Vadasi. Okay, whatever you told me, Keshava, Tat Sarvam or Etat Sarvam, Aham Ritam Manye. What is Ritam?
ऋतं
Satyam.
सत्यं.
So whatever you told me, okay, you have been telling me so much. Whatever you told me, aham etat sarvam ritam manye. I think that whatever you told me is true, is a satyam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Te vyaktim na viduhu. Devaha te vyaktim na viduhu. Here te, what is te here? Yushmat shabdasya chaturtiya shashti.
Okay.
It can be chaturthi or shashti actually. Te can be shashti vibhakti or chaturthi vibhakti of yushmad shabda, and the regular tad shabdasya bahuvachanam it can be. And if it is napumsaka or strilinga, it can be dvivachanam also. So putting that aside, it can be yushmad shabdasya shashti or chaturthi. So what is the meaning here? How is it taken? Am yat vadasi etat sarvam ritam manye. Devaha te vyaktim na viduhu. Te vyaktim means your prabhavam. Vyaktim here is prabhavam. So here we have to take it as a shashti vibhakti only, not chaturthi. Okay. So here te is taken as yushmat shabdasya shashti. Te vyaktim devaha na viduhu. They don't know your actual prabhavam. Danavaha na viduhu. Even the Danavas also do not know. The Devas and the Danavas do not know your vyaktim, means your personality, your characteristics. Your prabhavam, they don't know. That is what is being told. Here, Danavaha na, only that is given. We can take Viduhu as Adyahritam and Danavaha na Viduhu. Like that, we can complete that sentence. Okay. Again,
Vakshami, which dhatu there? Vakshami.
Vakshyamiya.
Vakshami.
Where is Vakshyami?
Mm,
There is Vadasi, Viduhu and Manye.
नहीं यहाँ पे नहीं है, दूसरे श्लोक में था वो.
In which shloka number?
I can't say now.
It is basically Bhavishyat Kala of the Vad Dhatu.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So then, next one. Again, Savitri Bhagini. Only 3 of you are here, right?
Yes.
Savitri.
Sarvam. That is over. 15th one, isn't it? Swayamevatmanatmanam vetha tvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Swayam eva atmanam atmanam vetha tvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Swayam avyayam eva avyayam atmanam atmanam nakarah pullinga tritiya vibhakti ekavachanam vetha vid dhatu latlakara madhyama purusha ekavachanam tvam युष्मत् शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं पुरुषोत्तम संबोधन प्रथमा विभक्ति भूतभावनः संबोधन प्रथमा भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते सर्वमेव संबोधन प्रथमा विभक्ति खलु पदार्थ पुरुषोत्तम पुरुषश्रेष्ठ भूतभावना भूतोत्पादक भूतेश भूतप्रभो देवदेव देवाधिदेव जगत्पते जगदीश त्वं स्वयमेव आत्मना आत्मना स्वं वेत्थ जानासि अन्वय पुरुषोत्तम भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते त्वं स्वयमेव आत्मना आत्मानं वेत्थ तात्पर्यं पुरुषश्रेष्ठ भूतोत्पादक भूतप्रभो देवाधिदेव जगदीश भवान् स्वयमेव आत्मानं जानाति न अन्ये व्याकरणं भूतानां भावनः भूतभावनः तत्पुरुष तत्सम्बुद्धौ भूतभावना षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः भूतानाम् ईशः भूतेशः तत्सम्बुद्धौ भूतेश षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः देवानां देवः देवदेवः तत्सम्बुद्धौ देवदेव षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः जगतां पतिः जगत्पतिः तत्सम्बुद्धौ जगत्पते षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः
So atra kriyapadam
वेत्थ
कर्तृपदम
आत्मानं
so vetha is in madhyama purusha, so tvam will be the kartrupadam. Tvam shloke api asti tvam so vetha means you know. Tvam vetha, you know. What should you know? Atmana atmanam vetha. Atmanam vetha. So you understand yourself. Atmanam. How do you understand yourself? With your own atma again. Atmana atmanam tvam vetha. So here the Sambodhana words are Purushottama, Bhuta Bhavana, Bhutesha, Devadeva, Jagatpate. And another, what are the other two words in the shloka? Swayam. Swayam eva. Ante by your own self. Self, you know yourself. Using your own Atma.
Yes.
So who told this to whom?
Arjuna told Krishna.
1 second. Arjuna told her.
Arjuna Uvacha. Yes.
Where is Arjuna Uvacha?
That is in the shloka, 12th shloka.
Arjuna Uvacha. Yeah. Why is Arjuna telling this to Krishna? Purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Devadeva Jagatpate Tvam Swayameva Atmana Atmanam Vetha.
Nanye.
So here, why is Arjuna telling Krishna?
He is praising him. You are the Devadeva, you are the Bhutesha, and you know everything. Nobody can know your identity. It's the...
So I think it is not like he's literally telling Krishna to know yourself. It is like the you here is used more like sometimes we use, no? When we are making a conversation, how do we say? We refer sometimes as one, he who does this will not do that. So if you do this, this is what happens. So when we say you here, it literally does not mean you, but we are
in general.
We are referring to an individual. Maybe here we can take Tvam as that. Maybe Arjuna is saying, okay, now I understand all your teachings. Nobody else will understand. Now I understand what you are telling. What you are telling is true. You can understand, you can know yourself with your own Atma, like that. Can we consider it like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Or because why should Arjuna tell Krishna you have to understand yourself?
That's not possible.
So or else there is some other explanation which will come to know in in the next shlokas. Okay, so we'll just continue and keep this question in mind. If you think of any other explanation also, you share. But we'll keep this in mind and try
find
to
the solution. Yes.
Okay. Then again, Surya Bhagini, 16th shloka.
Madam, here, that some Buddha, why that Deva Devaha, Devanam Devaha, Deva Devaha, Tatsam Buddhau, Deva Deva. What is that Tatsam Buddhau?
Related to that, in that sense.
Oh, related. Okay. Tatsam Buddha. Sambandha. Okay. Okay. I got it.
Kartum arhasya sheshena दिव्या ह्यात्परविभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकानि मास्त्वं वाप्य तिष्ठसि वक्तुं వచ్చధాతువు తుమన్నంతం తుమన్నంతం అర్హసి అర్హసి మధ్యమ పురుష ఏకవచనం. ఇది అర్హసి అంటే అర్హధాతువు అవుతుందా?
అర్హధాతు.
అర్హధాతు అర్హసి. శేషేణ
అశేషేణ.
అశేషేణ తృతీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. అశేష అవుతుందా శబ్దం?
అశేష.
అశేషేణ. దివ్య వ్యయం అవుతుందండి. దివ్య అవ్యయం. ఈ అవ్యయం. ఆత్మ విభూతయః బహువచనం. ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం.
ఏది దివ్యాః
విభూత
స్త్రీలింగం, ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
ఓహో.
We'll see. అంటే during the analysis we can figure out if it is strilinga or
prathama vibhakti bahuvachanam kalu divyaah divya.
So we have to see again, like I am saying, the complete shloka. It is visheshana to atma vibhutayah. Divyaah atma vibhutayah. Vibhutihi is ikaranta strilinga.
Yes. Prathama vibhakti bahuvachanam.
Then we have to take it as strilinga dvitiya vibhakti ekvachana.
దివ్య అయింది. దివ్య ఇప్పుడు స్త్రీలింగమే అవుతుంది. యాభి యత్ శబ్దం తృతీయ బహువచనం. యాభిః విభూతిః ఇది కూడా తృతీయ విభక్తి బహువచనం. విభూతిభిః. లోకాన్ని నపుంసకలింగం కదా ఇది. ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం. లోకాన్ని.
పుంలింగ ద్వితీయ విభక్తి బహువచనం లోకాన్.
ద్వితీయ విభక్తి బహువచనం. మాం కదా ఇది. మాం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
అస్మద్.
త్వం ఉంది కదా.
ఓన్లీ త్వం ఇస్ దేర్, నాట్ మాం. ఇమా అన్నది. లోకాన్ ఇమాన్.
లోకాన్ ఇమాం. లోకాన్ ఇమాం.
ఇమాం కాదు, ఇమాన్ నకార.
ఇమాం. లోకాన్ ఇమాం.
ఇదం శబ్దస్య పుంలింగ ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. సారీ, బహువచనం.
త్వం కూడా ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. వ్యాప్య త్వా ప్రత్యయం. తిష్టసి.
బికాజ్ వి అండ్ ఆప్ ధాతు, సో ఇట్ ఇస్
అనుకోల. అదే యబంతం. తిష్టసి అట్లకారం మధ్యమ పురుష ఏకవచనం. స్థాధాతువు. పదార్థ యాభిః విభూతిభిః యైః మహాత్మ్య విస్తరైః ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ ఏతాన్ లోకాన్ వ్యాప్య ఆక్రమ్య తిష్టసి వర్తసే. దివ్యాః హి తప్పు పడింది ఇది. లోకోత్తరాన్ అని పడింది. లోకోత్తరాన్ అనుకుంటా ఇది. లోకోత్తరాన్. ఆత్మ విభూతయః మహాత్మ్య విస్తరాన్ అశేషేణ సాకల్యేన వక్తుం అర్హసి కథయితుం అర్హసి. అన్వయః యాభిః విభూతిభిః త్వం ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ వ్యాప్య तिष्ठसि ताः दिव्याः आत्मविभूतयः अशेषेण वक्तुम् अर्हसि। तात्पर्यम् भवान् स्वीयैः ऐश्वर्यैः एतान् लोकान् अभिव्याप्य तिष्ठति। तानि सर्वाणि अपि ऐश्वर्याणि साकल्येन कथयितुम् अर्हति। व्याकरणम् आत्मनः विभूतयः आत्मविभूतयः षष्ठी तत्पुरुष अर्हसि క్రియాపదం తిష్టసి కూడా క్రియాపదం
అర్హసి అండ్ తిష్టసి
తిష్టసి
సో అర్హసి కహ అర్హసి త్వం అర్హసి త్వం కిం కర్తుం అర్హసి వక్తుం అర్హసి కిం వక్తుం అర్హసి ఆత్మవిభూతయః వక్తుం అర్హసి సో వాట్ ఈస్ ఆత్మవిభూతయః
ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ వ్యాప్య
మహాత్మ్య విస్తరాన్ అంటే అబౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఆత్మవిభూతయః అబౌట్ ద గ్రేట్నెస్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఓకే దివ్యాః ఆత్మవిభూతయః వక్తుం త్వం అర్హసి కథం వక్తుం అర్హసి అశేషేణ కంప్లీట్లీ సో యు ఆర్ కేపబుల్ ఆఫ్ టెల్లింగ్ అబౌట్ యువర్ ఓన్ గ్రేట్నెస్ ఓకే అనంతరం తిష్టసి పునః మధ్యమపురుష ఏకవచన అతః త్వం తిష్టసి త్వం తిష్టసి और केन तिष्ठसि विभूतिभिः कीदृशेन विभूतिभिः कीदृशैः विभूतिभिः याभिः और कीदृशीभिः विभूतिः याभिः विभूतिभिः त्वं तिष्ठसि किं कृत्वा व्याप्य इमान् लोकान् व्याप्य त्वं याभिः विभूतिभिः तिष्ठसि. So here याभिः means through which. Okay, you can tell about your own.
అంటే ఏవైతే రూపాలు ఉన్నాయో ఆ రూపాలు
all the manifestations which are divine, all the divine manifestations of yours you can tell of all the forms through which, so those manifestations vibhutayaha, those divine manifestations through which you exist in this world. Tishtasi means you exist in this world. So what are all those manifestations? Whatever is in the creation. So because we are asked to look at Paramatma in everything. So in every creation he is there. We can look at all these as forms of the Paramatma himself. So through these manifestations, through these forms, you exist in these lokas. That is why the word Vyapya is used. Why Vyapya indicates that he is there everywhere. Vyapinchi unnadi sarvamanta. So everything in this creation, everything in this world is you. It is your manifestation. That is what even Prahlada says, right? So similarly here also you are there in this world in so many divine forms, and through these divine forms you are completely spread out in all the lokas. Adi. So that is what I am saying. So here Arjuna must be reiterating whatever Paramatma told him. He is trying to put it out again. Whether whatever he understood, he is just again putting it out, so just to make sure that he understood everything correctly. Alana anukovali, but I will come back on that again. In the previous shloka, why Arjuna is telling Paramatma, you know yourself, akkada you anedi, does he mean it literally to the Paramatma or is it used in a more generic way? Anedi, we have to look into it once. Okay. So we shall stop here. Meeru shlokam cheptara ivala?
చెప్తా. ఓం సహనా భవతు సహనౌ భునక్తు సహ వీర్యం కరవావహై తేజస్వినావధీతమస్తు మా విద్విషావహై. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం.
ధన్యవాదాలు
సర్వేభ్యः
భగిని.
నమస్కారः.
శుభరాత్రి సర్వేభ్యः.
ధన్యవాదాలు. శుభరాత్రి.